What is going on, everyone? My name is Alex Goddard and welcome back, everyone, to a brand new reaction and review video on my channel, where in this video I'll be taking a certain Doctor Who story either from the classic series or from the new series, and then I'll be reacting and reviewing them at the same time. And so today we are going back to the classic series, to 1966, to the last ever days of the William Hartnell era. Well, not exactly to the last ever Doctor Who story, The 10th Planet, but to the last ever Doctor Who story that you can perfectly say that William Hartnell was at his full potential. And it is Doctor Who and the War Machines. This story for me is kind of forgotten about. It's an underrated one, I must say. I enjoy it, but I've not seen this for ages, so I'm a bit unsure really. But you'll definitely see my reactions and you'll definitely hear my opinions on the War Machines. It's a very unusual Doctor Who story, but I think in the whole context of William Hartnell's era, this is his last Doctor Who story where you could perfectly say that he was at his full potential, at full strength. Because in the 10th Planet, he was deteriorating, he just couldn't find the strength to be the Doctor anymore. But this story will be his last ever, and is his last ever Doctor Who story, as the full potential as the first Doctor. And so everyone, make sure you like this video, and also please subscribe to my channel for more Doctor Who reactions like this, and make sure you please comment down below your opinions on the War Machines. And so everyone, without further ado, let's begin my reaction and my review on the War Machines. Oh, the good old original Doctor Who title sequence. I mean, this is the first time that I'm ever reacting to a William Hartnell story. I mean, I should have really started at the very beginning, but I'm starting at the very end with the War Machines. I've got to say, I think the introduction of the War Machines, where it comes up on the credits as The War Machines by Ian Stewart Black, Part 1, so damn creative. I love it. And so yeah, the Doctor and Dodo are in London in 1966, where, I don't know actually, I think it's sort of a supercomputer called Wotan, stands for, actually I'm just going to bring up the DVD here, it stands for the Will Operating Thought Analog, which is like a supercomputer that thinks for itself. New problem solving supercomputer. It's quite interesting. Again, it's been at least a year since I've last watched this story, so how am I supposed to know? I don't have expert knowledge going into this story. I obviously watched the Doctor Who story, and then obviously it's like, oh, I remember that moment. Just tends to happen really for my time, because I never get the chance to rewatch loads of Doctor Who stories over and over again. That's the whole point of this series, to take old and long-lasting existent Doctor Who stories I've not seen for ages, and to see my reaction as like the freshness reaction that you can get from me from not watching a single Doctor Who story for a long time really. And so yeah, I've just noticed that the Doctor's put an out of order sign on the police box, and the policeman just walked past trying to get into the police box. No, he can't get in there. Like I said, I think this is the one Doctor Who story where you could perfectly say, knowingly that you saw William Hartnell going into the 10th Planet so poorly and so ill, I think this is the only Doctor Who story where you can say that he did his best at his own best strength, his full potential, if you know what I mean. And of course we have the first glimmerings of Ben and Polly, who are going to be the new companions for the next few Doctor Who stories for the Doctor until he regenerates. Of course, including the Smugglers and the 10th Planet, of course. I know that's only 2, but of course the Smugglers are lost, but the 10th Planet exists. Well, apart from Part 4 that doesn't exist, but it's animated though. Ah, so it's like sort of like a central intelligence, like a great intelligence. Not like the great intelligence like in The Web of Fear or the, what was it again? The Abominable Snowman. But it's sort of like a supercomputer bonded intelligence, joining computers all around the world to form one massive supercomputer, massive intelligence, if you know what I mean. But something about this machine seems sinister. It seems to have a mind of its own, and it goes into this story knowing it has a plan, but it does it very, very well. It's very, very sinister. I can feel something sinister about this story. It doesn't look sinister, it doesn't feel sinister, but it's like at the back of my mind that I know something bad is going to happen. Because it's Doctor Who, bad things happen, of course.
And never makes mistakes.
So it's a never making mistake, you know, it never makes mistakes. So it thinks for itself, computerizes everything, perfect answers, perfect wording, perfect answers.
What does the word TARDIS mean?
TARDIS? Oh, of course. So maybe it does know, or doesn't.
Well, what does it say, my dear?
Got it right. Time and relative dimensions in space.
Good heavens.
Wow. How can it know that?
How would it know that? Wotan knows a lot I don't know. There's something else I can tell you in this chapter.
It's like this sort of like alien sort of like an alien hypnotizing field, really. The whole buzzing sound of the whole room kind of feels like a hypnotizing, like something that attacks your mind and puts you under like a form of hypnosis in a way. Right, so what have I just watched? Well, I saw the introduction of Ben and Polly, which I know you haven't seen, but basically they were in like some sort of nightclub or day club, and yeah, we first get to see Dodo, Polly, and Ben. Yeah, that's all you need to know, really. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's not necessary. You might know what I'm on about, but I'd rather not say. It's quite interesting how this intelligent supercomputer, Wotan, can think for itself like a human being without even having the emotions of a human being. Like I said, there's something sinister about this story. About the whole controlling of Wotan, like some sort of that hypnosis in the room can affect people's minds and can put people under control. It seems weird, I know, but it seemed like, you know...
Yes, of course. Are you sure this building's properly screened? If you have any complaints, I have. There's someone in this part of the building. Sorry, sir, not at all possible. We have a complete security check on this section of the tower, day and night. Are you sure? Positive.
Somebody's in here. It kind of feels like there is one person in the room, and that's Wotan, the machine, the supercomputer.
Someone listening. Watching.
Or maybe it's Wotan is thinking. It's a supercomputer that learns and thinks for itself, logically and more accurately than any other human being, which just makes it the overall more dominant supercomputer that it is.
No, good heavens, honestly, off and late. Thank you, Major. Good night, sir.
Oh, some weird sound effects. You can hear the change in the sound, and there's a light. There's a light on the what looks like a nose of the machine. You see, Wotan, the whole scale of Wotan. It looks like a scary face. Like you've got the eyes, and you've got the nose that is glowing, and then you've got what looks like to be a mouthpiece. It looks like a face. It looks like a scary face of Wotan.
Yes, very odd indeed. Perhaps he's overworking. Who was that little man, Crimpton? Oh, electronics fellow. One of our top men. Come to think of it, electronics. Perhaps there is something wrong with Wotan, and you didn't want to let it out. That would explain it, wouldn't it? Look, I'm terribly sorry, but would you excuse me? I think I'd better go and check. Kennedy, will you look after the doctor?
I wonder. Somebody's going inside. He looks more like the general manager. He reminds me of somebody. Oh, that noise again. Oh, it's creepy. And then it has the high-pitched sound that's attacking the minds of of other people, and it brings them under a form of hypnosis. I think it's like it's trying to gather servants that has information and can build more giants, and this goes into the process of making the war machines. I think it's directed really well, I've got to say. The thing is about black and white television is that it looks like daylight TV, but instead it feels like it's nighttime. Because there's a nightclub where you see Ben, Polly and Dodo, but when you go up to the viewing of Woe Time, it looks like it's, you know, like it's pitch black outside. Makes everything the whole more complicated and something sinister about it. I have no idea. So it's nighttime, but it looks like daytime though. That's the whole picture of this whole story. The whole setting of black and white television can make you see that it may look like it's daytime, but in actual fact it's nighttime. Makes everything the more creepier about this story. Every single time when a Doctor Who story feels like, oh, it's a massive supercomputer, we have to take over the world and we've got to eliminate mankind forever. It kind of seems so, like it's on the basis of every single Doctor Who story that goes through that process. Something bad happens, an alliance takes place, a supercomputer takes over the world, and the Doctor's got to stop it. It's pure basic, like the basic generic scale of a Doctor Who story, if you know what I mean. It's like its method of what a story is going to be. It's the noise from Wotan. Drives people insane when you hear that sound.
No, I don't believe it. I won't work for you. I'm human. There's nothing more important than human life. Machines cannot govern man. I will not.
He's trying to resist. He's trying to resist, but I think his mind has just accepted. It even goes to some strength, so when people resist, you know, Wotan could be more superior with its power. I think it's like a power draining machine as well as on a computer. It's like it's the perfect machine that can form all form of chaos. I mean, the worst thing is that Dodo goes to Wotan and then starts to pick out the Doctor and stuff. Does seem weird how the Doctor's now landed in a nightclub with loads of young people, like he's like the oldest personnel, like the grandfather he is. Listen. Did you hear the voice? Wow. I'm gonna say, that voice from Wotan, my word, sends shivers down your spine. Oh god, that voice. Talk, who is required? It's like it's the loudest whisper I've ever heard. I mean, many people whisper so quietly, but that's the loudest and the most deepest whisper I've ever heard in my life. That is petrifying. Absolutely petrifying. I love the voice of Wotan. It's absolutely so creepy. Alright, I'm now hooked up. I'm now interested. Oh, is really quiet. It's great stuff. Like I said, the voice is just... It's not alien. Well, it is alien, but it's like... so much more than that. It's amazing. The War Machines by Ian Stewart Black, Episode 2. And I've got to say that the format of where it shows The War Machines by Stewart Black, Episode 2, that entire format of its black and white colours, and its writing and its font, it looks amazing. So different and so creative.
Who shall live to serve the machines and who shall be eliminated? Crimson, you take that. London is the first capital to be taken over. Then Washington and Moscow. War machines must be built immediately.
So this is the whole idea of the War Machines, so that they can conquer London and then conquer over abroad. But I'm just thinking about these War Machines, how are they going to travel over to Moscow and to Washington to control everything, unless they have powers from all around the world to help them build the War Machines? It's fantastic. Love the voice of Wotan. It's scary stuff. But one thing I like about the voice though of Wotan, like he said Doctor Who as the Doctor's name, as the whole show of the classic series. Like, the Doctor here, Wotan doesn't call the Doctor as the Doctor, he calls the Doctor as Doctor Who. As the whole show, when you see the credits, you see Doctor Who as William Hartnell. But then when it goes into the 1980s, you see the transaction of the Doctor, played by Peter Davison, or by Colin Baker, but you have Doctor Who, played by Tom Baker, or John Pertwee, or Patrick Troughton. But it's so weird how you can see the difference of how Wotan calls the Doctor as Doctor Who, not as the Doctor. The entire thing about the Doctor and Dodo going off to Wotan, you see a building relationship, a love relationship between Ben and Polly. It's quite nice and quite subtle, really. I like it. It's better than Danny Pink and Clara and all those other boring shenanigans, all those love relationships. But Polly and Ben actually build a fond, loving relationship at first, and then they become so attached together when, you know, William Hartnell regenerates into Patrick Troughton. Again, you can have relationships like love relationships in Doctor Who, but they must not side away from what the story is actually going to be. Like, you know, it's got to be something on the sidelines, not fully involved in the story. Like, if it's just a simple love relationship between Ben and Polly that doesn't interfere with the main focus of the story, then I'm more than happy with having it in the story. But if it's like one of the main features, like with Clara and Danny, which was like the whole focal point, then I'm not interested. That's the whole point about relationships. You don't make love relationships be the main thing about Doctor Who, because that's not the point. The main point is the story with Wotan and the whole supercomputer aspect of building war machines as machines that can take over the world.
Construction must be completed by tomorrow morning.
Wow, what, was that already made? That gotta take like an hour to make.
Good gracious. What is it, Doctor?
So weird. Because I'm just thinking to myself, how the hell did that entire war machine got built in a matter of like an hour? It looks so huge, it must have taken like hours to make. Then again, they've got to make like multiple war machines so they can duplicate them around the world. And the Doctor, at the moment, he's puzzled about what he can do and how he can help this man. He seems to be like a leader of, well, maybe the owner of Wotan, I don't know, but somebody in higher authority of owning Wotan, maybe, I don't know. But he's like trying to sort out his problems. But his problem's really about this entire situation. I mean, I don't think even the Doctor's a bit unsure really what's going on until he actually sees the war machines of Wotan for himself. Then he's a bit peculiar and a bit suspicious.
Yes. I want to speak to Professor Brett. Yes, he's at the General Post Office Tower. That's right, yes. Yes. It's the Doctor.
Ah, I'll switch him through. Direct to
Oh, I see what they're doing now. They're phoning the Doctor directly from Wotan, and Wotan's going to send some signals to the Doctor to put him under control. But you know what I mean? Look at the phone! It's the phone that has like him under some sort of, like I said, hypnosis form, and it's causing the Doctor to spin out control. In a nutshell, really, she's put Dodo to sleep. I know Dodo was under hypnosis, but what the Doctor did was, like, she put Dodo under like some sort of like sleeping hypnotic, like, say, I don't know really. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, remember when Donna got her mind wiped from the Stolen Earth and Journey's End in the 10th Doctor's era in the series 4 finale? Kind of feels like something similar from here. It feels like a classic version of the Doctor wiping Dodo's memory of all of the adventures with the Doctor. I don't know if that's the case, but it feels like it. All of the form of hypnosis that the Doctor was trying to hit on Dodo, like put her under some sort of sleeping spell. And all of a sudden now Dodo's asleep, but she'll wake up, maybe realising, maybe she won't have any idea who the Doctor is. So maybe that's what I think of this whole thing about Dodo leaving, and how it's one of like the worst ever leaving, you know, departures for a companion, because it just doesn't have an explanation to it. But for me, it kind of does not necessarily like relates or is not similar to Journey's End from series 4, as in the goodbye, or the departure from series 4. But like I said, I think Dodo is not herself anymore. I think once the Doctor wipes or puts her to sleep, she'll have no memory of who the Doctor is. And I think relates to the fact that it's wiping memories of her and the Doctor having all of these adventures, and now Dodo's going to be left not realising who the Doctor is anymore. And for me, I think that's probably one of the reasons why people say that Dodo is probably the worst companion to ever depart from Doctor Who, really. And that's why not everyone likes Dodo, really. And this is why having two fresh new companions as Ben and Polly are such of a new, energising freshness to the show. Well, not really, it kind of helps the Doctor along towards the end of his regeneration in the 10th Planet. There seems to be a load of people walking around, but there seems to be some sort of entrance to a warehouse where the war machines are being kept, and Ben is going to investigate the warehouse. But then, knowingly enough, some people are going to be in there hiding, waiting to ambush him. Which kind of makes these scenes so scary, because it feels like that Ben is walking into a trap, knowingly that other people are going to come from behind and ambush him.
Test satisfactory. Stand by for sight test. Commence testing.
Sight test? Oh, okay. Probably sight test for Ben.
Sight to be improved. 30 yards maximum insufficient. Movement test. Commence testing.
Uh-oh. Wait. Is Ben in trouble? I don't know whether the machine can actually see Ben at all. The machine seems like it's doing its programming, destroying bits, and it's got that little antennae at the top that's moving it around and trying to see it where other people are positioned, telling him like different signals. I don't know really. It's a lot of electromagnetic ideas, or really. They're quite indestructible, I've got to say, but maybe if you kill Wotan, maybe you kill these machines as well. Oh no, Ben's found, and it goes into the title sequence. Not bad. I've got to say that I don't think you'll see Dodo for the next 2 episodes, because she basically goes off to the country house and just never returns to the Doctor again. Again, like I said, I think it's the worst ever companion departure in the whole history of Doctor Who. But then again, I don't think anybody especially liked Dodo, so that's probably a benefit really, that that departure didn't mean a thing to anybody. But it just shows that maybe they were a bit lazy on giving her a good farewell, because pretty much they just kind of left her really in this story. Not even to say one word of goodbye or a farewell to the Doctor, just completely abandoned her at some weird house that she's been under some form of hypnosis and kind of wiped her memory. So you won't be able to see Dodo for a long time, but these war machines though are so destructible. Again, it feels like they've got so many like attachments. Like they've got the hammer, they've got the spray gun, which kind of kills everybody instantly because of the gas inside of it, and it's also got some other features as well, like hypnotic signals that can attack the minds of people. So they're like the perfect war machines. Imagine if you put that machine in a war, maybe that could give you a better outcome of what a war could be like. And maybe these war machines could survive in a war, but I very much doubt that these machines could survive like a near neutron bomb or an atomic blast maybe. I don't know really. Put that to the test and see how they are. Because if they can survive all that, then they can survive any sort of war whatsoever. And yeah, Ben's trying to escape, but seems to can't escape from the whole war machine. The War Machines by Ian Stewart Black. Episode 2. No, not episode 2. Episode 3, sorry.
What are you doing here?
Wait, whoa! What the hell's Polly doing here?
Wait, incredible. I must get back to the Doctor and talk to him.
What have you seen in there?
I can't tell you now, Duchess. Look, keep back, Polly, I'm telling you, come on. Because the people in there have gone mad. They seem as though they've been hypnotised or brainwashed.
What else did you see?
There was a mechanical monster. It moved. It just killed someone. Come on, we must get out of here. Polly, come on!
She's under the form of hypnosis too. I don't think Ben realises though that I think Ben doesn't know that Polly's under the form of hypnosis. I don't know how Polly could have been hypnotised by Wotan, unless she's gone physically to the phone and maybe she's been hypnotised. I don't know, because she's the secretary, of course. I don't know really. It's just a bit bewildering at first.
Come on, let's get out of it. Have you got mad? What are you doing?
She's locking the door. What's she doing?
I have my instructions.
Of course she does. Of course she does. It's from Wotan, of course.
I've got to get out of here.
No, Sir Charles, I don't
I think what the Doctor needs to do now, I think the Doctor needs to go up to the tower, to the post office, to visit Wotan, to visit the supercomputer, or go to the warehouse and see one of these war machines and interrogate with it. That's what I'm waiting for. I think the Doctor's been standing around in that room for way too long, and I think he needs to budge a bit. Not trying to say that he's not done anything in this episode, but just trying to say that could he at least go to some other place and maybe interrogate with the war machines, maybe?
These are his orders and the orders of Wotan.
See, I'm trying to figure out, is Polly really under the spell of hypnosis from Wotan, or is she just making it up just to save Ben's skin? I don't know really. I don't know if Polly's actually doing this for fun, unless it's probably much for a joke.
Victory of the war machines.
Unless it's actually real that Polly is under this hypnotic spell of Wotan and the war machines, then yeah, Ben's in real big danger. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever spotted that. How did Polly even get under the influence of Wotan? Don't know how she was hypnotized, or probably either by the phone that she wanted to call Ben on, and then maybe she got hypnotized by Wotan. I don't know, but it seems strange that maybe she could be faking that she is hypnotized and working for Wotan. Maybe that could be the case, but she's putting in a really good shift in this story to really persuade Wotan and to persuade other people that she is under the force of Wotan, but could be. I really enjoy this story. I think I've forgotten how good this story was. I think I've just remembered how sometimes when you watch Doctor Who stories that you haven't seen for ages, and yet when you watch a particular Doctor Who story like the War Machines, you see all of the times like, wow, I forgot how good the story was. And that's the whole truth. Is Polly not tired? Gee, she's got nerves of steel. She's got like muscles built like a man. Can't believe I've said that. Yeah, Ben's actually the one who's actually got a bit of sense around here. Some form of action has got to take place somehow within this story. Like, I know the war machines can go on to a rampage. Oh gosh. My word, you can see Polly's eyes! It's like staring at Ben. Like, I don't know if Ben's trying to escape, but like Polly's like, what are you doing, boy? Don't you dare walk away from me! Like, scary stuff, I don't know why. It doesn't feel scary to me, but it just feels so sinister though. I think the sinister adds another level of creepiness and scariness to this story. Ben's trying to escape, knowing that, could you just not climb over the fence? Or climb over the gate? Go on then, Doctor, you've got to go. You've got to get out of that room. Because it seems like, I don't know if to prevent the Doctor from walking about because of his health, maybe gave the Doctor a bit of a chance really to well, obviously you know how his health was slowly deteriorating, and maybe the producers or the directors wanted him in this room for the whole episode of episode 2, just so that he can actually build his strength up and maybe just won't walk about at all. I think that's probably the whole point, that the directors wanted him not to move about too much, to make his health slowly deteriorating. That's probably the case. I've got the picture of, and now he actually wants to go somewhere and investigate. Because you can't keep the Doctor in that room for ages. Well, I think I've just seen how Polly could have been faking the whole thing about Wotan being under control. Maybe she betrayed Wotan, and maybe she wasn't even under the influence of Wotan after all. Maybe I was right this whole time.
You inform them. If you don't, you'll be on your own head. I don't like your tone, young man.
Ooh, Ben's getting a bit shouty, and I don't like your tone of voice, young man. Just exactly what the Doctor doesn't need. They don't need another bomb-tending idiot like Ben with his shouty personality, and the Doctor's like, don't you dare speak to me in that tone, my child.
I think we should strike at what I believe to be the center of this base.
Wotan. You've got to. Because if you kill Wotan, you kill the machines, and it's end of, really. Makes logical sense. You kill Wotan, you kill the machines, the whole story's cleared up, and Wotan will be able to exist to take over the world of the entire and become the massive supercomputer intelligence that I suppose or plans to be. That's probably the Doctor's plan. So he's just got authority from the Ministry of Defence, and now they're slowly going to bring up the troops to surround the entire area to stop the war machines from getting out of the warehouse. So to protect the city of London, because if they don't do anything, then chances are London could be taken over by Wotan, and then goes over to all of the million cities around the world that have major importance, like Washington and Moscow and, you know, the White House. So it has a load of importance when you conquer one city, you can conquer them all. And I think when Wotan finds out, when they kill everyone in London and destroy and conquer London, when they find it like it's so easy to do, then surely enough they will easily do it in a matter of, like, say, an hour or so, and then move on to the next country and the next country after that. With the power intelligence of Wotan, and then with the power and the experienced features of these mechanical arms and the gas gun, nothing can stop in its way. Nothing can. But as long as you've got the Doctor, and if you kill Wotan in the process, then maybe there's a chance of these whole war machines can shut down or deactivate. I don't know, actually. Something quite familiar that I've just recognised, that the war machine gas guns, the tip bit looks like the tip bit of the gun of the Daleks. So instead, it reminds me of, remember the Peter Cushing movie of Doctor Who, not and the Daleks, but the Dalek invasion of Earth of 2150 AD or something like that, I can't remember. But it was a Peter Cushing movie where it had Daleks that had guns with nerve gas or some sort of gas, and it fired at their, you know, opponents or victims, and it killed them. Instead of actually having the Daleks shooting people with like an X-ray laser gun, it's actually like a flammable gas or a gas that can kill people instantly. It reminds me of like that. Again, speaking of the Peter Cushing movies, I just recently watched Doctor Who and the Dalek on DVD, and I've got to say that Doctor Who and the Daleks, the Peter Cushing version, it's like a short version of Doctor Who and the Daleks. Instead of watching like a 7-part Doctor Who story, you've got a movie that is sort of like Doctor Who, but I kind of enjoyed it more just only because it was slightly quicker, fast-paced, and maybe it was slightly better than Doctor Who and the Daleks. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going off topic here. Sorry, I get carried away when I talk about too much. I don't think they realise that there's nobody in that machine that's doing all the work. It's actually a mind-thinking machine that's doing all of the actions itself. Nobody's is in the war machine itself, controlling all the guns and controlling the hammers and the nerve gas. It's basically a form of intelligence that is just controlling its arms and legs like the Daleks, an intelligence force that is controlling the war machines, and then it's doing so much chaos and destruction. It's coming towards them, the Doctor and Ben and everybody else. The Doctor is just standing there. Oh, this is good. He's just standing there, and he's holding his jacket, and he's doing. Oh god, that's my William Hartnell impression. Ugh. Well, that's episode 3 done. We're now moving on to episode 4, but I don't know why the Doctor just stood there and did that, looking at the war machine, like face to face, eye to eye, man to man. But it's not man to man, but it's alien to alien, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know if the war machines can see the Doctor looking into his eyes, and like it's like a stare off, honestly. It's really good stuff. I think Michael Ferguson as the director, I've got to say, he does a really good job with this story. I mean, credits to Ian Stewart Black, who created the War Machines or written this whole story. It's quite a very... I wouldn't say it's the best or perfect Doctor Who story, but I think it's a Doctor Who story that I think everybody can enjoy. Alright, there's a few negative bits about Dodo and everything else, but apart from that, I think the War Machines are very good. Very powerful, very menacing. And like I said, I think the Doctor is like the only person with the brains or with the knowledge can defeat Wotan and can stare into the path of Wotan with so much power and so much determination, looking into the dead eyes of the War Machines as the Doctor's doing. Unless the Doctor has something up his sleeve. It's coming towards the Doctor. Wait, hang on. It's going away. What's the War Machine doing? Ah, of course, it won't destroy the Doctor because Wotan's orders was Doctor Who is required. So the machines can't kill the Doctor. Can't kill the Doctor at all because Wotan needs the Doctor alive to use his knowledge. Which of course the machines have been programmed by Wotan, so they can't go away from Wotan's orders. Doctor Who is required. Bring him here to the centre of Wotan, and that is why I think the Doctor's been waiting to see these machines in action. But they're knowingly enough that I can't be killed because these machines need me to bring me to Wotan, to bring me to the whole central position of this entire scheme of things. Oh God! I know what it's doing. Wotan are completely ignoring all humans. I think Wotan has now made a complete decision that Wotan doesn't need its servants anymore. It's gonna work by itself. With no humans around, mankind is gonna be completely destroyed. Because the whole point that Wotan felt that it could trust the humans to use as servants, but now since these war machines can be built, I don't think the war machine or Wotan has any intention to keep all of its humans alive. So I think what Wotan have actually done, they've actually released everybody from their hypnotic movements. So now Wotan is completely operating by itself, thinking logically, and has the powers to destroy everybody in its path. Because it hardly cares about the fact that humans are needed now, and that's... I think Wotan needs the Doctor, especially, to help him out in the final phase, I think, for Wotan. Wow, I mean, you can actually have a real good view of what 1966 was like back in those days with all of the old shops, what they used to look like, and got a real good feeling to it. I like that. I know you can only see London for a split second, but it's like you can see what London 1966 was like from these Doctor Who stories. And that's what I like. I see what they're doing. They're putting poles in place with ropes attached to prevent the war machines from getting anywhere. Wouldn't just the war machine just knock all the ropes down? Unless they're super tight ropes. I mean, one of the features that they could have added to the war machines was like a cutting device to cut through any sort of rope or sort of like metal substance. I don't know. Like a rail, like a fence or something like that. They could have done that. But it's just a bit weird how they won't add any sort of like cutting tool to the war machines instead of just all the hammers and stuff. Ah, I know what they're doing. I just realised. Those aren't ropes. Those are electrical cables. So cables going around in a perimeter, in a square. And the electrical cables, when switched on, when the machine is in the perimeter, these ropes these ropes aren't ropes, these are electrical cables to paralyze the machine. Static electricity to paralyze it so that the Doctor can take a closer look at the war machine. I've just realised that now, because I just thought that those were just pieces of rope, but that's not the point. Those are electrical cables that are paralysing the thing so that the Doctor can take a look and get into its nervous system. Interesting. I like that. All the machines are now deactivated, or neutralised as the Doctor may want to put it. So now he's off to Wotan, to the central control zone of Wotan, to answer it, to see the whole machine in action now. That's probably why the Doctor was trying to deactivate, or I think deactivating the war machines was probably the first thing that the Doctor wanted to do. Then go and sort out Wotan himself. That's probably why the Doctor wanted to do that in the first place.
I hope it will carry out a special program that I fed into it.
But will it be successful in stopping these other machines?
Well, my dear Sir Charles, we can soon find that out, can't we? Would you mind just standing back for a moment?
Hang on.
Now, my dear
Has the Doctor reprogrammed them? I think the Doctor reprogrammed the war machine to answer to him. Not to Wotan, but to the Doctor. I don't know if the Doctor has ordered the war machines to kill other war machines in its path, or to deactivate them,
Well,
or...
it all started at that tower.
What, a post office town?
Yes, in Brett's office, and I think it will probably end there.
End there.
Holly, I think she must have gone back there.
Well, I'm afraid we can't check up on that now, my boy. My machine has to face Wotan before noon.
Right, well, just give me till then.
No, you can't. You won't be able. Oh, you foolish boy.
So the war machine is heading to the tower where Wotan is situated, and is probably going to destroy Wotan when he gets to the top of the tower. And I've just realised that the war machines have actually gone faster now that the Doctor's reprogrammed them. They've gone much faster. Well, the one that the Doctor has just reprogrammed. It's gone so much faster. It's like it's getting into the it's like they've gone so much faster to take down Wotan in a matter of 11 minutes before noon. It's got to be done before noon. Uh-oh. It's here. I wouldn't do that if I were you, mate. Oh, it's nasty. Wow. Wotan's been destroyed. Utterly destroyed. Which means now Professor Brent is free. He's free from the hypnosis. He's free from Wotan. And the Doctor's gone. Just like that. The Doctor just leaves instantly. I thought he was having walking problems, the Doctor, and now goes off so quickly that you just can't really see him in a matter of seconds. It's like he just goes like that. And yes, of course, he's standing outside the TARDIS, not waiting for Dodo, of course, because Dodo has been abandoned by the Doctor, forgotten about, which probably a good riddance. And I think that's how probably the directors or the producers wanted to leave Dodo like that. I don't know, but I think it was just incredibly lazy how they couldn't at least put a little bit more effort into Dodo's departure. Huh. They've got a key! Huh! Polly and Ben have a key! It's probably for the first time that they've realised, like, oh, we got a key to the TARDIS. Let's go inside and travel with the Doctor then. And I think they're just getting to the point just before the Doctor was about to dematerialise from Earth. So I think they got in at the right moment, so when it goes into the smugglers, they realise, like, what have you done? What have you done? What are you doing here? And just, yeah. But anyway, that's the end for the War Machines. Well, I've got to say, watching the War Machines back again, I kind of forgot how good this story was, actually. Let me just summarise right now that I think the War Machines is not the best Doctor Who story. It's certainly not the worst. But in a way, I thought the Doctor was fantastic at his best, at full strength, because stories like The Smugglers and The 10th Planet, he obviously deteriorates from his health, but I think you could certainly say that The War Machines was probably the last hurrah that the first Doctor could have, like the last ever proper Doctor Who story that he could be really proud of. I think maybe he didn't like the whole fact that The 10th Planet was a Doctor Who story that you could see his health deteriorating bit by bit, but I think this is certainly one that I can certainly be proud of that I've watched, really, because it's certainly one of the last ever Doctor Who stories that you see William Hartnell at his best for the last ever time in Doctor Who's history. And so yes, I think the characters were really good. There were many characters in this story. Mainly all of them were on the Doctor's side, helping deactivate Wotan, and you had a few of the characters building the War Machines, building them to become one of the most destructible elements in the whole of the world, programmed by Wotan for them to completely take over London and to completely take over the world, with Wotan being the whole supercomputer. I completely forgot what it stood for again. Oh yeah, the Will Operating 4 Analog Machine, which is a big massive supercomputer that thinks logically for itself, that has more accuracy of thinking like a human but doesn't have the emotions, and it can learn and think logically for itself but can have a mind of its own when it's put in the right situation. Like with Wotan, with the deep voice of Wotan, Doctor Who is required. That voice, like it scares me a lot. But yes, I think it certainly provides a big, massive threat, and I think the War Machines were fantastic. Dodo, we don't need to go more into detail with her, and I think Ben and Polly were really good, although they had their bit of like a love kind of relationship going on between like the first 2 episodes, but I think towards the very end they became more allies with the Doctor, and sooner or later the Doctor will realise, like, what are you doing in my TARDIS, and all of a sudden the Doctor, Ben and Polly will becoming a really good pair until the 10th Planet, when Ben and Polly see the Doctor regenerate into Patrick Charlton. What I would say that if you haven't already seen that the Macro Terror has been released onto DVD, and if you want me to watch the Macro Terror for the first time ever, and I will pick up the DVD and I will absolutely watch and review the Macro Terror, maybe as my next ever Classic Who Doctor Who story. Would you like me to review the Macro Terror that has just been newly released onto DVD? So don't forget to please comment down below if you want me to react to the Macro Terror for my next ever Classic Who story. And also please make sure you comment down below your opinions on the War Machines, as I'm going to give the War Machines a good 8 out of 10. A very good, enjoyable Doctor Who story. Not one of the best stories, but a Doctor Who story that says a lot about William Hartnell's era, about his health, how this story was probably the last that you saw of his potential, and I'm quite proud to say that he did a fantastic job in this story concerning his health. So absolutely, I'm definitely going to give it an 8 out of 10. And so yes, that's the end for my reaction and my review of The War Machines, directed by Michael Ferguson and written by Ian Stewart Black. Thanks so much everyone for watching for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash this like button for me, and remember to please subscribe to my channel for more Doctor Who content. Thanks so much everyone for watching, and until next time, take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!